In this lesson, we're going to learn about the controls that will allow us to set values as part of the application. For this lesson, I have created a new page called Input Controls Demo. I am going to proceed to remove this label element, and in its place, I am going to paste a tag to create a control called checkbox. We have as part of this control a property called isChecked that will let us know if the checkbox is selected or not. Once the application has been deployed, we can see the checkbox control selected, since we have indicated in the isChecked property that the value is equal to true. As part of this control, we do not have the possibility to set a text. If we want to set some kind of text, we must add an external control such as a label control. The next control we're going to examine is a control called slider, which will allow us to set a value in a slider element. As part of the properties of a slider control, we can set a minimum, a maximum, some colors for the control that you're going to see in a demonstration. And we also have an event called value change that is going to be fired when we change the value in that slider control. In order for the example to work correctly, I'm going to recreate this event. And I'm also going to proceed to create a label element that is going to let us know what the value of this slider control is. We have to assign a name to this label element to be able to access it from the code behind. Let's go to the event handler that we have created, and I will proceed to set the content. In this way, I indicate that I want to use the LVL slider control, which is the label control that we have created to show the information, and in its text property, I want to show the information obtained from the slider control in its value property, and I'm going to make a conversion with the toString method so that we do not have problems with the conversion of values. Let's proceed to start the application to see how the change we have made looks like. And here we can see this slider control as we have set it up. I'm going to proceed to drag this circle that is part of the slider control, and at the bottom we can see how the value is changing as we are getting the current value of the slider element. Also, the different colors that we have established in the XAML code have been applied. Similarly, we have an element called stepper that will allow us to select a specific numeric value in the application. We're going to proceed to stop the execution of the application because we want to recreate this event handler. As part of the control, we can set a maximum value, a minimum value, and even what is the increment that will happen when we click on one of the buttons of the control. For this demonstration, we're going to reuse this label element. Let's go to the code behind. I am going to paste some lines of code where I am validating that the instance of the stepper is not equal to null. And inside this validation there is a line similar to the one we have at the top, only that instead of using the slider control, the stepper control is used. Let's see how the application looks like when we run it. And this is what the control looks like. We have a couple of buttons that we can press to increment the value that is being displayed as part of the label. See how the increment is given in pairs, since it was what we specified in the XAML code. We have maximum value, that is the value 10, and we have a minimum value 2, as we specified in the XAML file. As part of the controls, we also have a control called switch that has the isToggled property to know if the control is selected. Here, we can see it in action. We can see that we can select and deselect. We also have a control called datePicker, which is widely used for the selection of dates, and a control called timePicker to select an hour and minutes. Let's see how they look in action. And here they are being displayed. We have this pair of lines that show us what the current date is. We can select, for example, the first control and select a different date. We can also select the second control to select a specific time. And this is how we can work with these controls in a very simple way.